もぶつかったことないけどね、そういうパン食べながらね。
ぶつかったことないの？日本人がみんなこういう風に出会うし、遅刻したら絶対にパンを持ちながら走ってるでしょ。変態
カラクター寝てる時に There's a big water balloon
今日は外国人がびっくりする日本のアニメ独特な表現について話をしてみるよ。 Let's find out! こんにちは、全人類と友達になろうと思う僕がミスターウジです。そして
アロンです。
アナです。
俺です。
今日のテーマは外国人がびっくりする日本のアニメ独特の表現について。
I have no idea what you're gonna show us. It's about anime. I like that. But what are you gonna show us about anime?
インターネットで見つけてきたんだけど、
Okay.
外国人が思うこんな表現日本のアニメでしかしないよっていうことが何個かあると。
Like running across a field. And you see in an anime opening, the main character is always just like...
And like this other cast, they kind of slowly come up to the side of this.
Right.
Run along with
And they
them.
run along with them. Like, I mean,
And
it's
they all jump.
あ、やばい、もう自分から言う前にこう言う
like you can see in Pokemon, you can see in Full Metal Alchemist. Who else runs?
Oh yeah, and
Naruto, yeah, of
there's
course.
also the scene where like the villain and the main good character are back to back, and the camera pans like this, and then the and then the sound slightly changes, and they run in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Come Becky.
Becky. See, Aaron got it.
I got it.
じゃあ今日はそのインターネットで見つけたやつをみんなに見せながら、これは本当に日本だけだと思うよっていうそっちからの意見も一緒に話していこうか。
はい。
はい、アニメ大好きなみんな、今日は一緒に騒ぎましょう。それでは行ってみましょう。1個目、学校に遅刻しそうになって走っているとき、大抵パンを口に加えている。
Yes. Why is this? Like, aren't you like a rice country? Why is every character that's late eating pan?
学校だけじゃなくて会社遅れてもそんなふうじゃないですか。遅刻ですなと。
My friends always make fun of me because I do that. I run into like, stop doing that, you anime character.
Well, I think like from a practical standpoint, it's probably a lot easier to hold a slice of bread in your mouth than like say an onigiri. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta put the whole thing
Well,
in your
a
mouth.
slice of bread is just
Right. And
the show.
it adds to the comedy of it because they just don't have time to eat, and so they're like, chikoku, and they're like, you can understand what they're saying even though they have a piece of bread in their mouth. Yeah.
みんなの国のアニメとかではさ、こういう表現ないの？
ない。
Like cartoons? No!
No.
That's such a world-renowned kind of like trope.
Yeah.
大体あとこれ加えて走ってて、曲がり角でぶつかって、この人と何どこ見てんのよって、お前こそどこ見てんだよみたいな。で教室行って座ってパッて隣見たらさっきのやつ。
Wow, yeah, I've seen that way too many times. Aru.
Right your own hand.
一回もぶつかったことないけどね、そういうパン食べながらね。
ぶつかったことないの？日本人がみんなこういう風に出会うし、遅刻したら絶対にパンを持ちながら走ってるでしょ。で実際に日本来てから見たことなくてがっかりしちゃった。
Girls who are in my Japanese class thought that if like you bumped into somebody, you would fall in love, and they actually believed that would happen.
So just like purposely.
Yeah.
But that's a trope in like in American teen movies too, right? Like you have your
textbooks,
you have your
right?
textbooks here, and then you bump, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I bumped into you, and then you're trying to get your textbooks together, and then the person you bumped into helps you get it, and while he's helping you, you touch hands, and the moment you touch hands, you watch into each other's eyes, and that's the moment you fall in love.
You know, in a perfect world, I would say I believe you, Anna, but this person came to school in Bleach cosplay half the time, so I do believe you, and I do believe that person exists.
次、
はい。
興奮すると必ず鼻血を出す。
I never understood this. I don't get it. What's the anatomical function of this when it comes to like kohōfunsuru? I don't get it. What's the connection?
Oh yeah, why this? Yeah.
For example, if you're embarrassed or something like that, your face goes red. Fine.
True.
I get that.
True.
if you're hot, you sweat.
Yes.
Why this?
Yeah. Where does that come from?
Yeah, what's
Mr. Fuji from Japan.
what's
Please enlighten us.
the science behind anatomical science?
お風呂にさ長く使ったら、時々ちょっと熱くなりすぎて鼻血出ちゃうことない？
出るね。
Oh, okay, because of the temperature. Yeah.
それと一緒です、興奮しすぎます。体熱くなります。鼻血が出ます。いやわからんみんなの国の表現でこうなるみたいなのはないんだ。
No.
No, if anything, I feel like it has something to do with like, oh, they're really sick or something like that.
Yeah. Every time I get a nosebleed, they're like, are you okay? I'm like, that's fine, it's cool. And I just plug it in.
でもね、ドラマとかたまにこういう表現がありますよ。
あ、そうなんや。
男が綺麗な女性が見たら、
マレーシアで
中華系のドラマ。
あ、そうなんや。もしかしてなんかあるかも。日本から行ったかもしれない。
そうかもしれない。
次、困ったり驚いたりした時に大きな雫型の汗があーって落ちてくる。
Yeah, I was like, and I always make the same sound with a big drop of sweat just like coming down.
I don't know why it's a droplet, right? Like, why are you sweating when like you're kobatteru or something? But like, you show me the image and it's like, oh, this sweat means equals it's his komatteru or like he's thinking about something, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why, but it does.
I wonder if like you know when you're exercising, you move your body a lot, you sweat. Is it like you're thinking so much that your brain is sweating kind of thing?
Maybe.
いやでもそうだわ。僕も今なんでかわかんないわ。だいたいキャラクターが呆れるときに、あーって雫が落ちるよね。ここに。なんで雫が落ちるんだろう。汗かいてないのにね。面白い。誰か教えてくださいコメント欄に。
Like if you're trying to purposely make fun of anime, and it's usually seen in like Western cartoons, if like they try to animify something, then they do that. They put like the sweat.
Yeah.
And it's very like exaggerated. It's like so. I think I've seen a cartoon where they make the sweat like 3 times as big as their head. They're like, oh wow, that's very troublesome.
全然この表現見ても日本のアニメ見たことない人は何なんだろうこれってなっちゃう。
Yes,
I think so,
indeed.
yeah.
In fact,
ちょっとショック。
You get used to it after you see it so often. You're like, oh yeah, anime characters do that when they are Komaru.
次、
はい。
反抗的な主人公、謎めいた転校生、好きな異性は大抵教室の窓側の席に座ってる。
Yes.
Oh yeah, you see that quite often.
Yeah.
なんでだろう。
That's why during high school I was always trying to get that madoseki.
Seriously? So you can live out your anime dream?
Yeah. I once tried to like search like why is this, and I'm not sure if it was true or not, but like one of the theories is because if you put a character that you need to draw very often close to the window and in the back of the class, then you don't have to draw all of the class every time the character comes up.
That makes sense.
The camera shot just right at the corner, right?
Yeah. It's not. You don't have to draw like people's
Yeah.
figures, and you don't have to draw the features of all their faces.
Yeah, so it's easier when you draw the manga and when you animate. The anime.
ああ、まあ確かにそうかも。
And the light is perfectly hitting them, so you know you could also add
For
some
a practical
detail
standpoint,
there.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But
Right.
isn't a lot of time like these main characters in anime are like really like introspective and like and thoughtful?
Correct,
Right?
yeah.
And so the whole like gazing out the window is such a like I'm in my own world. I think so deeply about topics. I don't care about class. The world's all about me.
I feel like because of that, a lot of mangaka or like artists, they usually draw them coming from this direction to this direction, as opposed to side profile. Because side profile, you have to do this, right?
Right.
But then front profile, you only have to. Well, the audience can see.
True.
That's probably easier to draw, right?
次、男の主人公がつまずくと、その先にはヒロインの大きな胸があって、その胸に顔が埋まって怒ったヒロインにすごいパンチを食らって空高く放り飛ばされる。変態！あ、そうそうそう。
Oh, I have a side comment. It was like when someone gets hit and then they get blasted off into the sky and then it makes a star. Ding! Is that anime only? I've only seen that in anime.
Pokemon.
As well. Right.
Yeah, Team
Yeah,
Rocket.
Team Rocket.
Yeah, star
Always.
finish.
日本
どうって聞くのおかしいけど、
日本
日本だな。
これやっぱ日本のアニメでしかない。
アニメだなーって。
Yeah.
アメコミとかでトニー・スタークがボンってこけて女の人の顔胸のところにカッて顔やって殴られたりしない。
That would be so out of character.
Yeah.
It's like, let's say that Iron Man runs into like Captain Marvel and then he goes like, hit that! It would not
Yeah.
happen at all.
例えばスパイダーマンとかは
I guess it would happen to Spider-Man if anything, because he's like he's a young fellow. But still, to an American audience, if like you just show anything that has to deal with the female breast, it can be seen as like sexual harassment. It's like, this is too nudity for. It's not fit for kids.
そうだから日本しかできない感じ。
確かになんで日本許されてるんだろう。
Like, Japanese people can get away with that. That's why you have like Crayon Shinchan like doing like the butt dance,
Yeah.
like showing his thingy everywhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
But then if you do any sort of nudity inside the States, like you have to put an R-rated.
Yeah,
rating on
it's weird, right? Because like Hollywood movies has like there's so many sex scenes or whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that are centered around sex. But then on the flip side, I guess there's such a puritanical culture surrounding sexual scenes that like it's like you don't even want to approach that topic at all, kind of thing.
It's like there are boob jokes that exist inside
Yeah.
inside of the States, right? But it never really falls upon like accidentally falling into somebody's chest. Yeah, that trope just does not exist in Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
Maybe it exists like, oh my gosh, right?
Comedy.
Yeah, it exists in comedy, but like falling face first
Yeah.
into breasts doesn't happen.
No.
Oh.
It's face first. It's like, and then red just like goes from top to bottom.
Oh, I think it has to do with the idea that Japan likes visual comedy a lot, right? Because even in American movies or like American stand-up shows too, you'd hear people like talk and make like verbal jokes that are sexual, but like making visual sexual joke, it feels like too much. It feels like that's kind of kimochi warui.
It feels
If
lightweight
you-
harassment if you make a physical joke about someone's appearance.
Yeah, it
right?
feels like on the line to harassment.
Right.
But like because Japan has a culture for visual comedy, then that's why this kind of like small skit kind of thing that's like sexual, that's like sexual comedy flies in anime.
It's like inside of anime, there's always like the pervert trope.
Yeah.
Right? There's always someone who is just like, you know, there's always just like that one guy and he's like lovable for some reason. But it's like if Americans were to go with like a pervert trope, it's like, what are we teaching our kids? We're trying to teach them to try to like peep at women or like try to touch them. And so we don't want to harbor any of that sexual misconduct inside of our youth, right? So that's why I think it would not fly in the States.
なんか日本人的な目線から見るとアメリカって結構自由の国のイメージあったからあそういうのダメなんやって思っちゃう
You can do what you want, but don't touch me. That's the thing. Yeah, stay in your lane. Yeah, don't touch me.
今までねいろいろネットのやつ言ってきたけど逆に他にみんながこれ日本のアニメでしか表現されないなってことある
I have one.
はい
Oh, Megan, 貸してくれる?
はい
Okay.
わからんわ
You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, you have the like, really smart person. They're wearing glasses, and then they do this, and then the light flash like that.
Yeah.
It is like
Yeah. Right. You guys don't see that? You definitely see that before.
And like they become full white, right?
Yeah, reflecting the light.
Reflecting the light, and it's like you can't see their eyes anymore.
Actually, you're wrong.
Yeah, actually.
You just fell into my trap card.
ちょっと頭いいキャラクターのやつとかそれかめちゃくちゃおバカなキャラクターがちょっとおバカな目標ちょっとエッチな目標とかを達成する計画を立てたりするときにパーフェクトプランさ
Yeah.
これでやればスカートの中が覗けるみたいな
It can work in both ways. It's either like a really smart thing happening, or they're trying to like, make a gag. The power of friendship.
The power of friendship. When the shujinko, especially in the shonen, when the shujinko is about to lose, like you're about like the fight is over, right? Like no, there's no way they're coming back. But then the bad character says something along the lines, yeah, and now I'll go kill your friend that you've been with for this whole time. And when the Shujinko hears that, he's like, no, I can still fight. And somehow he gets all this power that comes from thinking about his friends and whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he has this new, more powerful thing, that he has this more powerful waza that he came up with in the middle of the fight. And because of the power of friendship, he managed to take down his enemy and save the day.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
楽しそうになかった喋るな
Case in point here, like Dragon Ball Z, when Gohan is fighting Cell, right? And then Cell crushes Android 16's head, and then Gohan crazy, and then he finally goes Super Saiyan 2, and it's like a big moment, right?
Yeah.
And at the very end, with Goku behind him, whatever, he like does a final Kamehameha, right? And he finally kills Cell that way. That's like another like power of friendship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or even,
I mean, even the first one, you know, like Goku's long friend, they participated in tournaments together with Lil Baldy, you know, and then they would fight together, you know, and he would always support Goku. And as soon as Frieza outs him, and he releases like, boom, power of friendship, kills Frieza.
Or even like the whole concept of spirit bomb is like you're taking the power from like your friends.
Yeah. Let's give Goku our energy, guys!
Yeah.
確かにね表現というよりはそういうストーリーが多いってことね
Yeah.
そうね。
でも本当にそうかも
I mean, especially
Shonen.
for like, I don't know, Pokemon, right? Like the final scene, he thought about all of his different Pokemon teams that he's had in the power of friendship. Pikachu finally won the battle, right? Because he thought about his friends.
他にあったりする
はい。
はい
キャラクター寝てる時に There's a big water balloon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when they're sleeping.
Oh,
Yeah, from the nose.
ないの海外
いや、海外ザキザキザキだけかな。
Yeah, I think so. Or like in SpongeBob, when he's sleeping, it's just right.
でもこれはないんだ
Yeah, I
No.
don't think so. Yeah, that's a good one.
They make more sounds as opposed to like visually showing that they're
Right.
sleeping.
And then when they wake up, it pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see that a lot in games too, right?
Games, and like
Yeah.
Mario.
Yeah, don't wake up the chain chomp or whatever because it's sleeping.
And they play like a lullaby.
Yeah. Or not the chain chomp, the flower. Piranha plant, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like sleeping like this, and if it pops, it attacks you.
あでもアニメの前さもともと漫画だったじゃん、で漫画で寝てるのを表現するのって
あ
絵じゃないと分かんないからそういうのになったのか
Oh!
Does
Does that explain the sweat from earlier? Because like if it started as a manga, it's like how do we explain that they're komatteru even though we can't see their face? Oh, let's make it more wakariyasui. Big sweat, right? So it might take from the manga adaptation. That's why we have those things that exist. Yeah, we did it.
Okay.
It's from manga.
We solved it.
Also, in the West, we always talk about, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this room kind of knows it to an extent, main character plot armor. No matter what you do to the main character, they cannot lose, they cannot die because they are the main character. And it's like a very, very annoying trope because like it's like, oh, they always have to win by some random BS method, right? Just by like, oh, like power of friendship, oh, like they kept like an ace up their pocket or like something happened that they just cannot lose, right?
Yeah, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, Yu-Gi would be losing badly.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, just believe in the heart of the cards.
Correct.
And he pulls some perfect card. He's like, I will win now. And he plays a trap card. And then he goes, no! And then he dies.
Right. Yeah. Main character plot armor. Yeah, that's it.
それは表現じゃないけどまあでもメインキャラクターが負けちゃったら終わっちゃうじゃん
One more is, well, I believe that the only one to do this is probably JoJo. You know, when they describe the fuinki and they have the purple and then at the bottom the Jinaka says menacing. You can't really go in English, right?
ジョジョだけだからそれ
Right. I mean, it's been referenced to in like other animes. Like if they're making a JoJo reference, then they write
Yeah.
and then they write them like really distinguishing features, like a very strong chin, or maybe they're posing like this or something like that.
僕が個人的に思うのはなんかご飯を食べるときにさ汚く食べるキャラクター多くない
Yeah.
でも日本であれやってたらうーわって本当は実世界になるじゃんでもなんかアニメの中で悟空とかさってルフィとかめっちゃ食べるよテーブルまだテーブルにもいない気がするけどみんなの国でそういう表現ある
I think that it's done in a Western way, right? Because like in Japan, you know, there's several times where you get the bowl up to your face and you like scoop the rice into your mouth, right?
Yeah.
And we do that slowly in Japan. I mean, you know, the main character, they might exaggerate, they're like scooping and shoveling everything, right? But then in a Western perspective, like if you're watching shows like on Cartoon Network, they're doing the same things, but like let's say they have 2 chicken drumsticks from KFC.
Yeah.
They still
yeah.
do the same thing. Or maybe they're like cutting a steak. There's like cutting a steak and then like what's it called? And a character would like cut through the steak so hard that they end up like cutting the plate or something. So it's just done in a Western perspective.
Right. I mean, I can't remember what show this was, but I can just imagine like someone stabbing a big steak like this, pulling up like this, and pulling a piece off, but it's like stretches.
Yeah.
It stretches and pulls off. Yeah, it's like rubbery almost. Yeah.
It does exist, but yeah, it's done through a different lens. So both cultures eat like a crazy person. Yes.
はい、ということで今日は外国人がびっくりする日本独特のアニメ表現について話をしてみましたどうだった
独特やな
I feel like we're always going to remember these tropes about anime, but it's interesting to know like where it originally comes from because it comes from the original arts of the manga, right? And that's what they do to emphasize it inside of the anime adaptations, right? So it's really interesting to know that the art comes from there originally.
でもそうよね落ち込んだ時とかに線がこう入るイメージわかる、でああいうのがアニメにもこうやって来てるもんねなんかでジョジョとかも多分雰囲気つけようとしてゴゴゴゴゴっていうのを漫画に書いたやつをそのままアニメに文字持ってきてるとかあるからなんかそこがこうつながったりするの面白いなと
It kind of makes me happy that American comics don't do that in modern day movies because you might imagine Avengers Endgame and then I beat Thanos Blammo! You know, I couldn't really imagine that happening if they took the art from the comics to be adapted in the actual, like, I don't know, live adaptation of the movie, right?
他に皆さんが考える日本のアニメ独特の表現だなと思うことがあればコメント欄までよろしくお願いします
Put it in there.
僕らにトークしてほしいというトピックがあればそちらもコメント欄までお願いします
Just
それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょうバイバイじゃん
寝る
登録
お願い
します